What began as a light-hearted appearance by legendary Crocodile Dundee star Paul Hogan quickly turned into one of the most unexpected on-air confrontations The View has seen in years. The 85-year-old actor walked onto the stage with his usual calm charm, ready to promote a new documentary about his life, but the conversation took a sharp turn the moment Joy Behar shifted the tone. At first, the discussion focused on Hogan's long career, his rise from Australian comedy circuits to international fame, and the cultural impact of Crocodile Dundee. Hogan was relaxed, cracking jokes, and the audience was loving it. But Joy Behar pressed him on comments he had made in a recent interview about Hollywood, political correctness, and modern comedy. Hogan tried to brush off the topic, insisting he was there to talk about his new project, but Behar doubled down, questioning whether some of his old-school humor would even be acceptable today. Hogan gave a tight smile, visibly irritated, and responded that comedy is supposed to push boundaries, not be policed. The tension rose as Behar continued challenging him, suggesting that some of his earlier statements were dismissive of progress and social awareness. Hogan leaned forward, raising his voice slightly, saying he'd been in show business for decades and didn't need a lecture on what humor should be. The studio audience reacted immediately. Some gasped, others cheered, and the rest of the hosts attempted to cool things down. Sonny Hostin stepped in, trying to steer the conversation back to neutral ground, but Behar wasn't finished. She accused Hogan of romanticizing a time when people in Hollywood could say anything without consequences. That's when Hogan snapped. He pointed at Behar and said, "You're twisting my words. I never said people shouldn't evolve. I said comedy shouldn't be scared." His tone was sharp, and for a moment the room felt frozen. Behar, not backing down, fired back that he was dodging accountability. Hogan shook his head, visibly frustrated, and the entire panel began talking over one another. Whoopi Goldberg raised her hands and attempted to break up the argument, joking they might need a crocodile expert out here to restore order. The audience laughed nervously, but Hogan didn't. Taking a deep breath, Hogan said he didn't come on the show to get interrogated like a political candidate, and that he was disappointed the interview had turned hostile. Behar responded that The View asks real questions, and if guests didn't want tough conversations, they can go somewhere else. That was the moment Hogan erupted. He stood up slightly in his seat and exclaimed, "I'm here out of goodwill. I didn't come to fight with you. You're making this miserable." His accent thickened as his frustration peaked, and several audience members shouted in shock. Whoopi quickly went to commercial break, placing a hand on Hogan's arm while telling everyone to breathe and cool off for a minute. As the cameras faded out, Hogan was still visibly upset, while Behar stared straight ahead, unfazed. When the show returned, the atmosphere was calmer. Hogan apologized for raising his voice, saying he wasn't accustomed to combative daytime TV. Behar offered a short, stiff apology of her own, and the interview wrapped up quickly. Clips of the clash immediately went viral online, with fans divided, some praising Hogan for standing his ground, others criticizing Behar for provoking the argument. By evening, Paul Hogan, Joy Behar, and The View fight were trending across multiple platforms. One thing was clear: Paul Hogan's appearance won't soon be forgotten, and The View added yet another fiery moment to its long history of on-air showdowns.